Hello everyone, Jeff from 97 Travel here, and summer is quickly approaching, which means you are probably looking into something to do this summer or this spring, and why not finally go on that Disney cruise that you've always thought about going on. Now, my family and I have been on 5 Disney cruises, twice on the Dream, twice on the Wish, and most recently on the Disney Fantasy. So if you're thinking of booking a sailing or just curious in general, these are biggest tips and takeaways that we have from all of our sailings aboard the Disney Cruise Line. Now let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Disney cruises are expensive, sometimes almost double the price of a competing line. So it begs the question, is it all really worth it? This could obviously be argued endlessly, but to this point we will say that when it comes to Disney Cruise Line compared to your Royal Caribbean and your Carnivals of the industry, there is truly that Disney difference. Now what exactly does that mean? For one, these ships are immaculate at all times, and I cannot stress that enough. Literally at all times. You will never find a bathroom out of place, a dirty soda tower, ice cream machine, nothing. Just like the theme parks, they really do take the cleanliness very serious aboard these ships, which is very welcome as little things like trash can get a bit out of hand on other cruise lines, among other things. The Disney difference is also obviously going to include all the characters you can meet only aboard a Disney Cruise Line, including Mickey and Minnie, along with an absolute slew of not only Disney, but Star Wars, Pixar, and Marvel characters as well that pop up all over the ship for photo ops and even into the kids' clubs. There are endless opportunities to meet these characters, so be sure to download the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app and check throughout the day to see where your favorite character is going to be. I can assure you they're probably going to pop up more than once a day. Don't forget to meet the characters on Castaway Cay so you can see their specific beach attire. Super cool. Now let's talk about 2 glaring things that are going to be missing from a Disney cruise if you've ever been on another cruise line, and that is the inclusion of casinos and drink packages. There are no casinos aboard a Disney cruise line, and there is also no drink packages available for Disney cruises. Now, there is 100% no way to gamble on a Disney cruise, but the drink package has a couple ways around it per se. The rule on the Disney Cruise Line is each adult ages 21 and up can bring either 6 canned alcoholic beverages, beer, seltzer, cider, whatever, or 2 bottles of wine on board at the time of sailing. So that means I could get on with a 6-pack, my wife could get on with 2 bottles of wine, or vice versa. The catch with this is that you cannot put it inside of your luggage that you check. So if you have an 11 a.m. port time, you will be walking around with that 6-pack of bottles or wine for a few hours before getting access to your stateroom around 1 or 2 o'clock. Now pay attention because a lot of people overlook this next tip. Okay, pro tip, super pro tip. There is a grocery store in Tortola. When you are on a Disney cruise, if you know or do not know, there is no drink package at all. Again, no drink package on a Disney cruise. So what you can do though, when you get on your cruise in Port Canaveral, is you can bring up to 6 beverages per person. 6 beverages per person. You can also, when you get off at port, like we are at Tortola, get 6 more beverages and bring them back onto the ship with you. So we are in a grocery store in Tortola, which not only has liquor, which we could bring liquor, but if you get liquor, they will check it for you on the boat and you will not get it until after your cruise. So now if we turn around here, we're in the beer and seltzer section. As long as it is not in a glass, you can bring on 6 cans of your liking. So my wife is getting more High Noons.
Stock up.
So we're getting High Noons to bring back on. And yeah, that's a pro tip for you. They will not confiscate it as, again, you are allowed 6 canned beverages or 2 bottles of wine per person per port. And trust me, all these ports have at least a gas station or something equivalent close to port to where you can get off and grab yourself some alcohol. If you choose to not bring your own beverages, you can pay per drink as there are no shortages of bars and the servers have all sorts of deals. If you purchase a certain amount of beer or seltzers, you get the cooler bag, which is a great deal to do just for the bag alone. There's drinks of the day and a rotating variety of frozen beverages as well. Now, dinner is something you absolutely want to have figured out in planning for your sailing, as it can and will shape your evenings as far as plans go. Now, if you've researched anything about Disney cruises, you've probably read these words countless times, and that is rotational dining. Disney Cruise Lines is famous for what is called rotational dining. Now, rotational dining keeps you with the same server every night of your sailing, but puts you into a different dining room for 3 different nights and then starts repeating that dining room for your longer sailings. Now, rotational dining to me is absolutely brilliant. It gives your kids something different to look at every night. It switches up your visuals every night, something new, something fresh. You're not eating in the same dining room every night. And then if you're on the Disney Wish, you get your shows such as Arendelle, you get your Marvel shows and things like that, which really just takes it up a whole nother level. So this is just, rotational dining is perfect for kids that just constantly need a new atmosphere or things like that. It's just brilliant, and I cannot suggest it enough. And then if you're really trying to figure out which one you should go on, the Disney Wish has really just perfected this method of dining, and it looks like they're going to even further perfect it on the Disney Treasure. There are 2 seatings for dinner, an early seating around 5:30 and a later one starting at 8:30. These will be things that you want to pay close attention to as your date approaches to choose your dining time. If for some reason you do not get your preferred dining time, not to worry. Upon boarding your ship, just look for a cast member and ask where they are doing the dining reservations, and they can point you to one of the 3 dining rooms where they are handling reservations. We have had to switch before, and it was usually no issue, and it's all dependent on your party size. The larger your party size, the more difficult it could be to get your dining switched. If you've been on other cruise lines, you might be planning to wing it at least one night and hit the buffet, but I've got news for you, and this is in fact why I say to plan accordingly. There is no nighttime buffet on Disney cruises. None. That's right. There is no nighttime buffet. Breakfast and lunch are the only time that the main buffet on the pool deck is open. Nighttime food options are going to be Flo's V8 Cafe and the Disney Wish equivalent Goofy's Grill, serving up basic burgers, tenders, pizza, and fries until around midnight every night. You can also order room service 24/7, but do plan to wait about 30 minutes for it. You have to order it from your actual room phone and be present when it is delivered to your room. The options, while basic, were great for all-inclusive. You can even get Mickey ice cream bars delivered. Probably thinking Flo's V8 Cafe doesn't sound too bad. Obviously, a taco on the Wish isn't too bad. But the trick is, if you are going to eat that food or you're planning on eating that food at dinner time, keep in mind that most of the places on the pool decks close at 5. So you will want to get whatever you plan on eating for that time before 5 o'clock. Because trust me, on these longer sailings, the thought of having to put down another Flo's V8 Cafe hamburger is not going to be the easiest thought. Finally, our last tip is don't sweat the extras. One of the biggest tips we tell everyone is to not sweat all the extra paid stuff that you can do on your sailing. Just enjoy it at base level. You already paid enough up front. There's so much to do and things to see, especially on your first sailing. You don't need to sign up for that whiskey class or that expensive excursion. We've been on 5 cruises and still have never ate at Palo, and honestly never have felt left out by not doing so. We've also never done an excursion at Castaway Cay minus a bike rental to go check out the trails. If I could suggest anything, it would be the free snorkeling they offer if you bring your own gear, or they have a 3-for-1 deal, which gets you a tube for the beach, a set of snorkeling gear, and a bicycle rental for the entire day at Castaway Cay for about $35 per person, which is plenty of activities for the day. So that's our biggest tips when it comes to your next Disney sailing. If you enjoyed this video and more travel tips, be sure to give us a subscribe, and we will see you real soon.